from the thought, being committed to God. And I want to make sure that we place emphasis on where our commitment should be. And that is, our commitment should be to who? To God. And not only to God, but even to the things of God is where we should be committed to. As I said in my opening remarks, that commitment is powerful when we are committed to God and the things of God. Today, being the first Sunday in this a brand new year, and not only a new year, but as we think of it, it's a brand new decade because God has brought us into a brand new year. And for some reason, God has placed it upon my heart to talk to the members of this church, visitors and friends, that if there's ever a time in the life of the church that we need to be committed to God and the things of God, is the day and time in which we are living in. Our commitment to God. Because so many times our commitment is in other places. And when our commitment is to God, a God who has done so much for all of us. How many of you know God has done some great things in your life? And how many are glad for what God did for you in 2019? And half the time, how many are glad that God don't treat us like we treat him? Amen. If God treated us like we treat him sometimes, we would be in terrible trouble. And so our theme for 2020 would be being fully committed to God. And when one is fully committed to God, that simply means that we will do what God requires us to do, regardless to what anybody else have to say. Amen. Because when you're committed to God and the things of God, it don't mean that things will always be easy. One question that all of us must ask ourselves, and that is, are we pleasing God or pleasing ourselves when it comes to the house of God? Are we pleasing God, Stan, or are we pleasing ourselves? Come on, talk back to me, church. Amen. Come on, just say amen. Amen. So the question must be asked, how then do I apply this text to my life? Because now Joshua is at a place that he's asking the people to make a decision in their life. Who are you going to serve? And I want you to ask your neighbor real quick, who are you going to serve in 2020? Amen. Some things we just need to get rid of, amen, because I am concerned about the church of the living God. And that is that so many of us serve or follow people when people don't have a heaven or a hell to put you in. Amen. Come on and talk back to me. It is about following who? It is about following God and not somebody else. A whole lot of us won't do in the church because we're following somebody else. If somebody else don't do it, I feel that I shouldn't do it. Amen. But you be committed to what God has directed you to do. And when you are committed to God and the things of God, God will block some things. He will handle some things for you. He will turn some things around for you. And there are some witnesses in here today, amen, that when you are committed to God and the things of God, God will turn some things around in your life. I want